Pick a card. What do they feel about you? Pile number 1, pile 2, and pile 3. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you at your reading. Hi friends, my name is Griselle. Welcome to my channel. I wanted to go ahead and do this reading for you. And this reading is going to be about how do they feel about you. So we're going to get an in-depth about that. You can, of course, skip to the actual read because you have your picture on the thumbnail. But otherwise, we're going to do a little bit of intentionality here, a little ceremony, and a little bit of fire play. I wrote down some intentions there for everyone, and we're going to wait for the soul of those wishes, intentions, and dreams to drift back down, which is actually really pretty cool if you've never seen this before. Oh, it's being coy. One moment, please. So this is what the soul of dreams looks like. Thought I'd share that with you. All right, let's go ahead and get going here. If you need an additional picture, we can do that too. I'm going to go ahead and pick a card that is going to go with the photo you select, and we'll read them in tandem. Pile number 1, here we go. We got the flip dip. Ooh, we're going to take it exactly how it came out. The 3 of Swords reversed. Pile number 2, how do they feel about you? We have the 4 of Swords. And pile number 3, we have the 10 of Cups. How do they feel about you? Take a look, and I'll see you at your reading. Hi, pile 1. Welcome to my channel. My name is Griselle, and you chose the 3 of Swords reverse along with a picture on the thumbnail. I'm all thumbtacked. That's not quite it, Griselle. But anyways, pile number 1, welcome. What do they feel regarding you? What do they feel about you? Pile number 1. Now, first of all, on first glance, people feel in general that you have healed through much. I feel like there is a lot of depth. You can see the stormy ocean or cloudiness right behind here. It feels like you've been through a lot, and somehow, some way, people can understand that simply by being around your energy. Now, this could be people that are actually affiliated with you for a long time or not so long time. Regardless, the intention is for reading all of the above, right? Pile number 1, how do they feel about you? How do they feel about my pile number 1? Queen of Coins. Stop. Let's see what else we have here. You are definitely empathic. You are tuned in, tapped in, and here to really channel other people. People really feel that you can understand their pain, that even without words, you know, that pain that words can't even express, you're there. You've been through it. And simply because you've healed does not lessen the empathy that you have, the level of compassion. And dare I say, you are a high level empath as well. Pile number 1, how do people feel about you? The 5 of Pentacles, yeah. Well, the 2 5s in conjunction right here. I'm all blip. I don't know why we're doing sound effects today, but we are. With the 2 5s right here, you've been through a lot of different changes, and what I see right here is that people automatically feel like they can tell you anything. They can come towards you and say, hey, pile number 1, I'm feeling a certain way, or pile number 1, this happened. And I feel like you would not even have to hear what emotions they're going through. You will instantly feel it yourself. You'll have deep compassion. These people also feel about you, pile number 1, that you're willing to listen, that you're willing to wait, that you're willing to give back whatever it is that they actually need, instead of rushing forward with solutions or Band-Aids or Kleenex to stop the tears and Band-Aids to stop the flow of blood, metaphorically speaking, of course. That you are actually here for the stay. You're here to listen. You're you're going to pull up a chair and get cozy, regardless of how uncomfortable this topic is. Now, I'm also being told that this has a lot to do with topics about what people fear the most, such as death and separation, tower moments, if you will. Deep subjects like that, people feel like you will actually sit there and listen to them. And not only that, but that you'll do it in a manner that's non-judgmental, that is very thoughtful, and they feel like you allow space. You open up that space in order for people to experience their feelings, experience their thoughts, experience their first knee-jerk reaction, and that you are willing to hold space until they're ready to come forth and maybe perhaps ask for advice, although not necessarily. People also feel like when they do get advice, it is well thought out, it is impartial, and it is incredibly on the money, shall we say, with that. I'm looking at all these like coins back here. Even though she's a Queen of Cups, I feel like you're very well grounded. You're known for being incredibly empathic, and I don't want to say like emotionally empathetic, okay? But there's a lot of that. Like if somebody's crying, you're going to cry. If somebody is going through hard times, you're going to want to give them a hug. You want to console them very much as a mother would their child. And I feel a lot of mother hen energy coming from you. I mean that with respect, okay? The Three of Swords is not to be trifled with. This is someone who has been through incredible dark times, incredible pain, and yet they've pulled through it on the other side. And they've made a choice not to get bitter, but to get better. And pile number one, that is you. And that's how people actually feel about you, that you've not gotten bitter, that you have in fact gotten better. And that's incredibly difficult for people to do. So that's incredibly commendable. Now with the 2 5s that I started talking about, and then I reared off on something different, people could have seen that you have mourned a lot in your life. And this makes you incredibly relatable because sometimes losses in other people's lives can really be minimized by society, by their friends, their family, and things like that. I'll give you a quick example. I've had patients tell me, yeah, I lost a pet and it was 2 years ago and I'm still devastated. Or I lost a pet and my family makes fun of me. Or probably one of the worst ones I've ever heard, and I've heard many through my patients. One of them told me he was a landscaper and somehow, some way he lost 3 of his fingers during this landscaping thing at the park, and he was never able to find them. And he would sit for hours and wait and see if he can actually kind of like find his fingers after the accident. And people that he was working with and friends and family eventually started laughing at him. And my heart was just so, it was so painful because I could tell that he was used to kind of like laughing it off or trying to gloss over it. And for me, my spirit recognized that he needed that space to be held for him, that he was still grieving. And I feel like you are that person that people, regardless of what other peers think about their situation, that you are the one to come to and you will hold space and you will in fact feel it with them. That if they're in a really dark place, that you will crawl within that dark place with them and maybe sit for a moment and just again listen to them. So that is incredibly commendable. I feel like you are the go-to, not necessarily like the fix it, let me go, fix it, but you're someone that people are going to run to and come to time and time again because of your level of empathy, because of your depth and your wisdom. Also, the Queen of Cups is incredibly psychic. Pile number one, I'm guessing that you've been watching readings for a long time. You yourself are probably a reader, and you know that the Queen of Cups is incredibly psychic. So with the 5 of Pentacles, people also feel about you that you've been through a lot, that the way that you speak cannot come from a lack of experience. The level of empathy and the way that you hold space comes from losses, from maybe potentially, my stomach's talking to you as well, Pile 1. I apologize for it. But potentially you've experienced many losses. With the 5 of Pentacles here, it can even be a case of like being homeless, maybe once, maybe twice, maybe thrice, or operating from a point of like being destitute, or losing a marriage and losing all of your finances, or stock market crashing, or losing homes, vehicles, and so on and so forth. Now, I'm going to say that also, again, this is only served to really provide more depth and more enrichment. And I feel like you wear it like a crown, not like, oh, well, me too, I've done that too. And I've, you know, you're never one to come up with, oh, yeah, get over it. Let me kind of gloss over it. I feel like because you've undergone things, you've experienced many spiritual transformations and a lot of grief in your life. And I feel like you, pile number one, are known and felt to be a person of great empathy and incredible love. And I would say for humanity, even people that don't necessarily like you, and I'm getting a feeling of jealousy. They won't like you because they're jealous. Even those people really want to come towards you when they're hurting or when they need something or when they need to be seen and heard, okay? Now, these cards jumped out of my lap and we're going to take them. I have no idea what this is. Pile number one. If you're liking this reading, do give me a like, share, comment, subscribe. This is my second channel. I decided to open it up again and see if I can try my hand at gaining some subscribers. My first channel has over 700 readings for you. If you'd like to go check it out, I will link it in the description box below as well. Pile one, how do they feel for you? Oh, sorry, I'm like, oh. Oui. They feel that you are in alignment with yourself, that you've undergone a massive awakening, that you're aware, that revelations just naturally come to you, that you basically see all, that you have indeed gone through portals and you have returned in order to speak about things that other people simply cannot see. This is really powerful right here because it definitely ties in everything that we just spoke about a little bit earlier, how people come to you because you can see the pain and you can relate to that as well. Pile number one. You gotta love these cards. The Tinder swindler, fake it till they run up your credit cards, con artist and scammer. Oh, look at me pausing at inappropriate times. I'm like, fake it till you run. Wait, fake it until they run up your credit cards. That's the way it's supposed to be read. So sorry. But pile number one, I feel like you can see things like this coming a mile away. People feel about you that you get a read on their personality, on their motive. You can hone in quickly and easily on anyone that has ulterior motives when they come towards you. You can figure out, describe, and even to the degree, the angle. Okay, I'm not a mathematician. I'm definitely not good with things like that, but in my mind's eye, I saw an old school like protractor and, you know, little, well, it's this many degrees separated from that you can actually kind of like look and tell precisely where other people are coming from, what's in their hearts, and again, what their motive is. And people feel about you that is an incredibly scary skill, okay? So people can feel intimidated by you. They could feel a little bit nervous. They definitely want you on their side. They definitely do not want you to be in oppositional energy, okay, with them. So people feel about you that you are incredibly admirable and that you have ties and connections and you have people on the other side, believe it or not. They are feeling this. Oh, check this out. Okay. So pile number one, people can feel that maybe perhaps you are boastful, braggart, self-promote, showcases their achievements, possessions, or advantages. And that's quite interesting because in here it looks very materialistic, but I feel like what we're feeling, you feel, we feel, do you feel me? Is that in this reading, this is alluding to all of your gifts and things like that. Perhaps people that can't relate or are fearful and they want to keep their distance. They feel like you could be boastful, that maybe bragging a little bit about your gifts or what you see. Even if you're simply sharing, you're like, oh my goodness, you never believe what I saw the other day and nobody else could see it and it was just so weird. What do you guys think? Even something like that you're excited about your gifts comes across as boastful. Why? Because they're coming from a place of lack and also because you're intimidating as H-E-L-L, right? I'm trying to keep this channel clean because I'd be having a potty mouth. Pile number one. Crunk, high and crazy, goes overboard. So people can feel like you can go overboard. Maybe you have a past as well, okay? And maybe you've had to resurrect yourself very similarly to a phoenix, right? The phoenix crashes and burns. kind of crash. I don't know if they really crash, but they burn, and all of a sudden they rise up out of the ashes, more incredible, more brilliant. And for some reason I heard more fancy. So another word that's coming to my mind is bougie. So people can feel like you live a bougie lifestyle for whatever reason, and that you live to kind of self-promote. And these are people that don't understand you, by the way, so I would pay no mind to that, but that's how they feel about you. And those are people that maybe you've accidentally stepped on toes, or people that have taken offense to your loving nature, or let's say that you have drawn the attention of other eyes in the room, which is very natural for you because you are an empath and you magnetize people automatically. Something about your eyes could be very, I heard cunning, okay? People want to twist the narrative however they want. But in the end, they're going to come to you for help or empathy or sympathy. However you want to word it, they're going to come to you when in their hour of need, okay? And I feel like, by the way, that you give those things generously, even if you know that these people are not your friends. I feel like you will extend that hand impartially, because in the end, I feel like you serve spirit, you serve source, you serve God, higher self, whatever you want to call it. And I think that's incredibly beautiful. Pile number one, again, if you're liking this kind of reading, do give me a like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm going to be putting more on this channel than on my first channel. But again, go ahead and take a peek at that one as well. Much love to you. And until next time, namaste. Hi, pile number two. My name is Griselle, and I'm here to do your reading. Keep in mind that I will be reading this card, the Four of Swords that you chose, in tandem with the picture depicted on the thumbnail that you chose. Pile number two, this is what we have for you. You chose the Four of Swords. How do they feel about you? Pile two. We have the Nine of Wands. We also have the Knight of Swords. And we have the Hierophant. So take a good peek at these cards. Pile number two, how they feel about you is that you have separated yourself for some time now. Maybe that you're getting rest, that you need more rest than other people, that rest is a priority, it's important. Your sleep hygiene is important to you. And I feel like people really feel like they feel like that's an important thing for you, and that they need to respect it because you are not going to waver in this. I also feel like people around you feel like sleep is important, the quality of sleep, that you're also taking a break. You could also be doing like vacations, staycations, keeping a low profile. And they're a little bit wondering about that. They're feeling a little bit left out, I ain't gonna lie. They also feel like they would love to, this is supposed to be PG-13, but I'm getting for some of you guys, if you're single, well, even if you're not, people are crazy these days, right? But I feel like people want to know what it would be like to share a bed with you, what it would be like, what kind of a sleeper are you? Do you snore? Do you roll over? Do you want to be big spoon? Do you want to be little spoon? They feel like they want to get intimate with you, right? They feel like they want to know what kind of sheets, and they speculate that those sheets are like super high thread count. They're bamboo sheets or satin. I don't know what's popular nowadays, okay? But they're thinking about things like this. And by the way, pile number two, that is the beautiful car that my friend is building downstairs. So if you heard that rumble, I feel like you make people's engines rumble. Okay, you fire things up for them. So there's quite a bit of a sexual attraction here with you. We are keeping it PG-13. Pile number two, I feel like people feel like you're defensive, okay? That you could be defensive. You want to see this closer? Here we go. You're welcome. So people feel like you have escaped many a fire, that you have escaped many a witch hunting group, okay? Witch hunters. Maybe you've literally escaped fire. Maybe you've literally escaped with some head injuries. and things like that. But I feel like this is also stating that people around you feel like you've been injured in your mind, let's say, okay? And how I explain this is that you maybe perhaps you can't really understand who friend or foe is, and you're really defensive towards everyone. Now, pile number 2, this is not a judgment call because I resemble that remark, and if you stick with me, you're going to find out a little bit more about how this comes to be about. That, you know, vibration works in kind, attracts kind. So basically, I have full-on faith that this is going to attract my kind of people. You have been wounded in the mind, psychologically, mentally, emotionally, and that you, incredibly being very fiery, very beautiful, very capable of defending yourself. You have your walls on up high, okay? That you are suspicious, that you will look 3 times before you cut once, that kind of a thing. So what do people feel about you? They feel like you're very attractive, but you're very difficult to get to know. They feel like you could be very cutting. People feel like you are very sharp with your words. That, let's bring this closer. I don't know why that cracks me up so much. My heart makes my heart happy. So people feel like you could cut someone down just in the blink of an eye, especially when it comes to your freedom. If they are someone that wants to manipulate or tell you what to do, or kind of harness you or tie you down or become the ball and chain, or, you know, have limitations and clauses in your contract, whatever that looks like to you. People believe that they don't really know, that it's a little bit ambiguous. They feel like it's mysterious what can set you off or what you're going to stand up and all of a sudden like defend quickly and swiftly. People also feel about you that you're very fiery, that you're hyper-intellectual, a hyper-intellectual. Is there such a thing, pile number 2? I don't know, but I feel like you're incredibly smart. People know this, and you can get your brass knuckles on and do it to it if you got to do it, okay? But in the end, pile number 2, people feel about you that you're very traditional, okay? This is traditional learning. These are establishments. These are jails and hospitals. These are institutions. These are going with the program. This can even be the DMV, things like that. We got to go through proper channels and chains and hoops to jump through in order to achieve what? Your registration, your tags, little pieces of paper that say, yes, you can drive on the road. We approve because you've given enough money to do it, right? But this is also, as above, so below. This is connection with the Most High, with Spirit, with God, with Source. Once again, we're not judging whatever faith. All are welcome here. But I'm going to say that you are people feel like you're very pure in spite of everything, in spite of the school of hard knocks that you come from, that you may have like graduated from, that you may have like bulldozered, because I believe that some people around you can feel like you could be a little bit like a bull in a china shop, and it's not out of malice. It's simply reacting to things that perhaps you don't have full information on, but that you are quick to take offense with. Now, none of these things within themselves are bad. As I choke, I'm so talented I choke on my own spit, you guys. Okay, here we go. So we're going to get a little bit more information. Pile number 2. How do they feel about you? Show me a little bit more. How do people feel about pile number 2? If you're liking this kind of reading, please do give me a like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know what it is that you like or what resonates. Feel free to make any suggestions on what you'd like to see in the comments below. Now, why am I not surprised? People feel that you, pile number 2, are an incredibly bougie person. I'm all with my fake believe screen, trying to make it bigger for you. You're welcome. Okay, so bougie, fancy pants, high-end, superficial, materialistic, shallow, skin deep, and hard to please. So this, I'm looking at these big old bags, yellow bags too. That's your solar plexus. This is your reason for waking up. This to me translates to something very simple. People feel like, yeah, you could be bougie. Maybe you like the luxury lifestyle. I do too. But they don't know, perhaps, that you're bougie on a budget. They feel like you like the lavish things, that you're very picky, that you could be picky about food, about what you wear, about what you drive and how you drive. And they could have this like assumption that you're spending thousands of dollars on something that should not cost as much, right? But that you like everything high end, when in reality you could be getting it at the thrift store, secondhand, or co-op, or whatever, right? There's a lot of places that have high-end, top dollar items that you can purchase online for a fraction of the cost. But that's their perception. There could be a little bit of a jealousy. I feel like you have, more than anything, an eye for quality. So for you, everything is about quality, not quantity. Show me more. How do they feel about you? Pile number 1. Pile number 2. I'm so sorry. Maybe you were attracted to pile 1. Clickbait. Okay. Clickbait. Irresistible temptation, bait and switch, and catfish. So pile number 2, people can feel about you that you are clickbait, that they don't really understand. Oh, this makes perfect sense. Wait till you get this. Okay. I want you to look at this card though first. It's so cool. So pile number 2, people feel like you are clickbait. People could say that you retreat, you withdraw, that you're in your own little world, that you are really focused on health, maybe on, I heard like purging, why can't I think of the words? Use your words, G. Well, anyways, you're going through some things in order to rid yourself of detox. That was so hard to think about. Anyways, you're detoxing. It could be social media detoxing, social detoxing, or dating, whatever. It could be foods or different items or drinks. But the clickbait comes in here. People think that you're withdrawing, you want nothing to do with anything, that you're super defensive, that you're like, stay back, stay back. But what they come to realize eventually is that you have ties to the Hierophant, that you love tradition, that you love something that's being put in place that's a little bit traditional, that's understood, that's structured. You enjoy that kind of thing. This could be commitment, and also that you're incredibly spiritual, that it could feel for people around, they feel like maybe sometimes you're at war with them, and you're not. You're trying to be self-protective. Two very different things, okay? Now, it can cause a war if they're coming for you, right? Well, I mean, you get what you come after. It's going to happen. Pile number 2. But in the end, they do feel like it's clickbait, because when they get to know you, when you're in different situations and they really see your motive behind you, behind your words, behind your actions, even behind perceived attacks, they really see that you are promoting unity and some form of spirituality, a cohesiveness. You're promoting not group thinking, but cooperative energy, collaborative energy versus it's me against the world. Yeah, and I feel like this is dualistic. Maybe perhaps some of you guys can have Gemini or Gemini characteristics. It doesn't have to be. It's just what's coming to mind right now. What do people feel about you? Pile number 2. Some more messages. I love this card. People feel that you're emo. Maybe you love to dress in black. Maybe, I mean, is there another color? Really? I'm going to say same. Maybe you love bright red lipstick. Maybe when you speak with, your words are emotionally charged, high emotional charge. Conversation, things like that, especially when it comes to things that you feel a deep connection with, your spirituality, with connecting with spirit, with the reason for living. It's like deep things. It's not going to be about superficial stuff. People get you wrong quite often, but when they come closer, that's their opportunity to really discover that it was clickbait after all, because you just want to be safe, but you want also to be a bit traditional and close to source and spirit. How do people feel about you? Yeah, that you're a puzzle, that you're complex, that you're dualistic. Initially, you might rub people wrong because I'm hearing you might be a little bit abrasive. And pile number 2, no shame in that game, because I I know it's hard to believe. I'm a bit abrasive as well. Now, I don't mean to be, but I'm actually incredibly blunt, and I can say things that people are thinking, but don't speak up about, and that could work against me or cause some assumptions that aren't really necessarily very fair or unwarranted. Pile number 2, how do people feel about you? Victim mentality could be people feel that maybe perhaps you've got the victim mentality, maybe perhaps because this is so defensive energy and it's like, come at me, you know, or if you look at me wrong, or if you sneeze at me wrong, or something happens, then you're going to go ahead and open up a can of whip ass because you're not here for it. Can't cope, won't cope, drama queen, and crybaby. So a lot of emotions right here. You could have a lot of emotions and be really vocal about those, maybe expressing those. And with all of these tears right here, it could be that you're actually opening up for the very first time, and people are misjudging that because you have stuffed those emotions down way into a tiny little corner of your spirit, and you're finally in a place where you can actually deal with them, meaning a safe place. Intrusion. Pile number 2, people feel about you that maybe perhaps the truth about you is a bit of an intrusion because you remained like a puzzle. It's almost like an implant, like a chip in people's brains. And when I see that this is like unfolding, unraveling, and this big Rubik's Cube is happening in their psyche, that is no mistake. That is exactly what you do to people. By the same token, I feel like it's a gift because you actually color people's lives in such a way. You help them to see a different perspective and grow from where they're at, beyond the shallow. You help them to think, well, you know, what's more important than having all the nice things? Even though we all enjoy luxury, what is really important? And you help them to think about core issues and things of incredible value. Yeah, pile number 2, you could be as intimidating as they come. Your roar could be something that people shy away from. Again, with the lips, with the mouth, it's something that you have maybe, you know, sorry, I slammed my camera here. Maybe you have sharp teeth. Maybe it is said that people want to kind of observe you, and they can do a little bit of bobbing and weaving because they don't want you to laser focus on them in case you want to reach out and bite, right? Because you can be intimidating, especially with your words. The evil eye, they put a spell on you, but pile number 2, you're protected. Believe it. Believe it, and you heard it here first. Look, cursing themselves, bad decisions, and regret, wanting to reach out. So I'm going to say, pile number 2, that you also have a lot of people from your past that have feelings about you, okay? They could be putting the evil eye on you. They could be intimidated. They could see that you maybe have taken a break from these people from the past, but also it's left you in a different position with even new people, right? Your walls are up for all to see, and you are ready to lop heads off as needed, right? And mode it be. I mean, it's going to happen if people come to you with the wrong vibration, with the wrong mentality. You're not putting up with ish anymore. So I feel like people from your past also could be cursing themselves for making bad decisions and regretting the way that they approach you, the things that they have done. But also, this could even be people that approach you sideways, that get you wrong initially and prejudge you. And then all of a sudden, when they realize that you are an entirely different being, that you're very grounded, very spiritual, connected to source once again, and very clairvoyant, I might add, I feel like they can actually curse themselves because they know that they left a bad taste in your mouth. Now, pile number 2, this reading has been feeling quite a bit sexual. I don't know. I feel like maybe I should open it up to 18 plus at some point and maybe try your hand doing that. But that's all I have for you today. Much, much love to you. Until next time, pile number 2, namaste. Hi, pile number 3. My name is Griselle, and I'm here to do your reading. You choose pile number 3. We're going to get a little bit of energy. How do they feel about thee? Pile number 3. How do people feel about thee? Let's get some cards out for you. We have the Knight of Wands. Woo, woo, wee, wee. We have the Nine of Cups. What is going on here? And we have the King of Swords. So I'm going to say, with the Ten of Cups, people feel about you that you are that quintessential wish fulfillment. People will double down on you, that you are the one for them. People can take a look at you, they can interact with you minimally and automatically think that you are their soulmate. Pile number 3, I feel like you are the quintessential fantasy girl, fantasy guy, regardless of what age bracket, tax bracket. It doesn't make a difference. People feel like you have a lot of sexual charge, a lot of sexual energy. Again, I was trying to keep these readings PG-13. We'll see what happens. But people are automatically attracted to you in such a way, not only for the short term and the fun times, but I feel like for a long time. The Ten of Cups is my happy wife, happy life. I feel like people automatically meet you and they think that you could be keeper material, that there could be more to it than just this one encounter. Even talking encounters like at the grocery store or, I don't know, on the phone or whatever. You know your life. I don't. But you are supercharged. And then now all of a sudden I'm hearing super freak. So people can feel that you are actually maybe like a closet freak. I don't know. I'm hearing BDSM, right? In the Mickey Mouse song kind of a way. People can feel about you that you are indeed the Nine of Cups. This is the ultimate wish fulfillment. This is a wish that I never thought was in my fantasy or in my back pocket or even in my mind. Now, multiple babies, too many to handle, child support payments. Pile number 3, what people think about thee is that you make beautiful babies. Pile number 3, people think that they got to be really careful with you, or they could wind up with a lot of child support payments. People also think that they want to have multiple children by you, with you, even if you're past that age, okay? I feel like it's just more of an emotional connection. Like, wow, I could see, I dumped all these cards on the floor. I could see having a family with pile 3. One moment, please, while I retrieve our next selection of cards, apparently. Pile number 3, what people feel about me is that you're incredibly, I heard respectful, but very sharp, very astute. You could be very well educated. You could have a lot of letters after your name, a lot of trophies, a lot of scholarship, a lot of things going on in the education department. You could have a lot of books. You could be somebody who is very, very skilled with your words, a great vocabulary. Pile number 3, what we have, what do we feel about these? So they feel that you've lived a lot, that you won't cross that bridge again, that you have a determination about you, that you keep it moving forward, that you go with your first intuition of, wow, this feels good, this is great. Not saying that you're like flighty at all, but that you know what makes you feel good and you will pursue that and allow that in turn to magnetically pursue you as well, right? Learning to forgive others for yourself, letting go of the past, enjoying life for yourself. So yeah, these are all the beautiful colors. Pile number 3, what people feel about these is that you're incredibly colorful, that you have a colorful way of looking at life, and also that you're incredibly precise, very much like a surgeon, and also not afraid to use that sword at any given time. That sword can be used to cut yourself or others because you want to get to the truth, okay? So your words could be very cutting, but I don't feel like you would spare yourself whatsoever. And that's what they see and they feel. They're like, wow, that's pretty amazing, because not many people can or would even do that. Stable, firmly fixed, and reliable. What I tell you, yeah, this is giving me a little bit of like pile number 2's energy. If you feel led to that, you don't have to. But with a stable card, people definitely want you in their lives for a long time, not just a good time. Now, since we're talking about good times, why not continue it, right? I'm going to say that people initially thought that they could come towards you and have just a good time because you are that fantasy person. With the Nine of Cups, this is somebody who is luxury, okay? This is somebody who can actually bring anybody around and attract them and like match their energy and have a good time. This is somebody who is well off by themselves and they don't need you, but they want you. I feel like it's more fantasy vibes also. But they decide to stay. They decide, oh, this is like a one-trick pony. Let me just go and have a good time with pile number 3. Even if your partner, don't judge. This is what I'm channeling. But I'm here to say that these people quickly learn differently and change their mind. Not because you are not fiery, not because they don't enjoy themselves, not because you impose anything upon them, but that they themselves see that you're a quality, that you are here to fulfill emotional needs, especially your own, but that you potentially can be it, the it girl, the it guy, okay? And that you are stable. Pile number 3, people can feel that you do have eyes behind your back, behind the back of the head. That's what I'm hearing, that you see all, even though you don't speak it, that they in turn know that they can't get away from the reality. They can't get away from truth. They can't bend things or spin things around in order for things to sound easier, more digestible, or sugared up. You're not about that life, and they know that they can't get away with nonsense, basically. Yeah, that you're awakened, that you're aligned, that you have indeed gone through portals. And I heard that people feel like you've gone through hell in order to live in the moment and realize that you've come full circle, that you need to enjoy the moment, because in the blink of an eye, it could be over for any one of us. And when it's our time, it's our time. Not to get dark, pile number 3, but people can feel that you're very wise about how you do things. And yet you don't let a good moment pass you by, simply because, and this could be like going for a hike and really enjoying the moment and savoring just the smells and the rain and the dew and the leaves and how beautiful they are and how they're turning different colors. And, you know, for example, one time I went hiking and I saw this, we were lost, by the way. We're lost, and I happen to glance up and I'm like, I can't believe there's no signs here. And I look up, glance up, and there, I kid you not, is a star that some child had like colored and painted, and somebody hung about 12 feet up in that tree. Pretty wild. So your third eye is open. Yeah, people feel about you that they gotta be careful, because if they come with any mess towards you, you're gonna cut that tie. If you're not ready to settle down, I don't mean like the commitment, the ring, and all that stuff. If you're not stable, if you're like, you know, well, let me just pop over and I'm gonna leave town, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna, if you're flighty, they're not, you know, pile number 3, they know that you're not gonna have it. You're cutting those ties. You're not doing it. Homelessness. There's no place like home. Feeling lost and hopeless, kicked out, thrown to the curb. People feel about you that you feel like home, that you would always provide a nice, warm, safe place for your loved ones, regardless of how you would have to struggle to make it happen, but that you would indeed take care of them. And I'm not talking about, and you could get some opportunists thinking, well, hey, I can check up here and I don't have to deal with life. They'll provide for me. But I feel like you see through that quickly and easily, and they understand that you would see right through that. With the King of Swords right here, you ain't playing. Nope. Pile number 3, what I have for thee is that they feel about you that you have moved on. That distance does not make the heart grow fonder, that you are doing quite well, especially with the 9 of Cups here. I feel like it's a nod, an echo, not only to wish fulfillment, but I feel a lot of Empress vibe right here. This is also the 9 of Pentacles. This is, I have my own hobbies, I have my own job, I can sustain myself, I lack for nothing, and yeah, I welcome people into my life. I welcome those that are going to be stable, that don't have a lot of BS going on, those that have a little bit of fire about them. And people understand that, yes, you've moved on for negative energies that are not conducive, that are not helpful, that don't serve you any longer, that don't build you up, that want to cause you chaos and trouble, and you're not about that life. And so you have actually moved on and away from that, that you have escaped some sort of bubble, perhaps in the past, that you were placed in or born into, or through some kind of a job that you were held captive in some way, and that you have flown the coop, never to return back to that. Divine Masculine, the yang to their yin. So again, we just read energy, but pile number 3, you could be more in your masculine energy. You could have chiseled features. You could have intense eyes, smoky allure. You could have curly hair, wavy hair, not necessarily. I feel like most of all, you could have that divine masculine energy. You know how to be a protector, and therefore you know what a protector looks like. Single moms, if you're out there, then this is energy that you won't know, that you've had to take on the soul role, perhaps, of being the protector, of the defender, of the strategist, of, you know, even coming up with a plan should things go south. Plan A, B, C, and all the way to Z. You've got plans. But it's going to work one way or another because you are empowered. Now, I feel like this could appear threatening at some point, but I feel like you reached a level, a level in your life or time in your life where this is very tempered, meaning that you can just bring that kind of energy out. If you need to take charge, you're going to take charge. And, you know, it's got to be you, then you're doing it and you won't question it. And you have full authority and you have full confidence. But also, if there's help to be had and other people are able to rise up to the occasion, you're not about to try to steal their thunder because you have nothing to prove. It's a very beautiful energy to be in. Pile number 3. I love that for you. People feel very safe in your energy. People feel like you read them very, very well and you match their energy. And sometimes this could be this can make people dodgy. But I'll tell you what, pile number 3, anyone that gets close to you that has dodgy energy, F-boy energy, F-girl energy, they're not going to be comfortable. They will repel themselves away from you. They'll eliminate themselves or eliminate, whatever you want to call it. They won't be able to last in this kind of energy because it's very rich. I'm going to say your energy is a little bit like dense. It's incredibly suggestive and alluring. Everybody wants in on your energy. But the difference is that your energy is such that they will eliminate themselves from it if they can't match your vibe. And if they can't be consistent, if they can't be stable, if they're not self-sufficient, if they're not done with their own BS, because I feel like you've dealt with yours, why would you take on anyone else's garbage and have to force them to deal with their own mess? That's not going to happen. And people know it. Yes. Pile number 3, if you're liking this kind of reading, do give me a like, share, comment, subscribe. This is my second channel. On my other one, I have over 700 videos of similar nature. Feel free to go check that out. I will provide the link below should you be curious. And please do help my channel grow. I created this one to see if I can get a little bit more activity going from it. Angelic ancestors, people feel about you that you are incredibly protected, that you maybe perhaps that your ancestors have been to war and back, to hell and back, to bad places and back, and you have survived. But not only survived, you come back leading the pack. And the interesting part people feel about you is that you're not a bragger, that you're not one to just open up your mouth and go, look at me and all the things I can do. But you're like that surprise that when people open up the package, just sounds salacious. Why? When they open the package, they are stunned by what they find, that the quality is by far way higher than what they expected. And I feel like this speaks to your moral character, your moral fiber, your ethics, and that's what you navigate your life upon. You have the backing of your ancestors, you have the support, you have the wisdom of your ancestors as well. And I'll tell you this, people feel about you that they cannot F around on you. They can't F around with you. No way, no how, because they're going to get the repercussions of your ancestors. Nobody wants that. But once again, you are very grounded energy, very beautiful energy, and people could feel like that's incredibly sexy. So I'm getting a little bit of like dominatrix vibes. That could be you, could be not. You might want to look into it. No shame in that game. Or a dom, right, if you are male. Regardless, on this channel, we read energy. We don't concern ourselves with sex. That is entirely your call to make. So pile number 3, that's what I have for thee. Thank you so much for your time. Much, much love to you. And until next time, namaste.